After an assassination attempt on Donald Trump, the Secret Service has ramped up security measures to protect the former president and potential future candidate. Trump, known for his unconventional approach, now has an extreme Secret Service detail. Even before the assassination attempt, Trump's security detail was like something out of a reality show, with armed agents wearing sunglasses indoors and looking like they were in constant communication. The U.S. Secret Service, established in 1865 to combat counterfeit currency, didn't begin protecting presidents until 1901, following the assassination of President William McKinley. Since then, they have been responsible for safeguarding presidents, former presidents, and their immediate families from various threats, including overzealous fans and even the occasional flying shoe. In 1958, the Former Presidents Act was passed, granting lifetime protection to ex-presidents, a privilege that comes with its own set of challenges and anxieties. Picture having a team of stern-looking individuals accompanying you wherever you go, whether it's grocery shopping, playing golf, or attending a surprise birthday party that your spouse is not planning. However, Donald Trump's situation is somewhat exceptional. While most former presidents typically retire to a life of writing memoirs, delivering speeches, and honing their golf skills, Trump has taken a different path. Instead of embracing retirement, he has re-entered the political arena as a major candidate for the 2024 election. As a result, the Secret Service now has the distinct responsibility of not only protecting Trump as a former president, but also as a current presidential candidate. It's akin to a political double whammy, except instead of confetti and applause, it involves motorcades and bomb-sniffing dogs. Donald Trump keeps himself very busy with legal battles and public appearances. Unlike most former presidents who focus on relaxing, Trump is constantly traveling, attending rallies, and gathering supporters. It's like he's campaigning for the White House all over again. It must be a desirable job if so many people want it. Biden and Trump are no spring chickens, so they probably need a good bed for their backs. Despite all this, you can bet that Trump's back is in great shape, and it would have been an easy job for the Secret Service if Trump was just playing golf like he loves to do. The Secret Service is having a tough time keeping up with former President Trump as he travels around the country. They have to deal with lots of people trying to cause trouble, and it's not easy for them. Other former presidents usually stay out of the spotlight, but not Trump. He's always in the news, and the Secret Service has to stick with him whether he's at a court hearing in New York, a rally in Alabama, or at his Florida resort. Normally, former presidents can choose not to have Secret Service protection, but it's not so simple for Trump because he's also running for president again. It's expected that Trump will soon become the president and receive Secret Service protection. Therefore, it wouldn't make sense for him to fire the Secret Service agents who might end up being his mandatory security team. Trump has always found ways to get things done his way. Even though the Secret Service takes care of most of his security, he still hires a professional security service with one of the best personal bodyguards in the world, Keith Schiller. Whether you love him or hate him, Donald Trump has always been known for doing things his way. Even as president, he stayed true to himself. One thing that stood out was his approach to security. It caused quite a stir when Trump insisted on keeping his bodyguard, Keith Schiller, by his side even after the Secret Service officially took over his protection. This was a big deal because since Kennedy, all presidents have relied only on the Secret Service for protection. These agents are highly trained professionals who handle everything from unruly crowds to serious threats. The idea is that the Secret Service focuses solely on protecting the president without any distractions or outside influences. But Trump decided that wasn't enough and kept his private security, led by the tough Keith Schiller, with him. Just picture being in the Secret Service and having this imposing figure like Schiller, a former New York City cop and Navy veteran, watching your every move. It's as if two people are trying to play a piano duet, but one of them keeps adding in a drum solo. It might sound interesting, but it's not what the music called for. Keith Schiller wasn't just any bodyguard. He was Trump's right-hand man, a confidant, and some might say his advisor. Schiller had been with Trump since 1999, starting as a part-time bodyguard and eventually becoming the head of Trump's security. He was more than just muscle, though. At 6 feet 4 inches and 210 pounds, there was plenty of that too. Schiller was Trump's trusted aide, the man who decided who got to speak to the boss and who didn't. It was said that if you wanted to get to Trump, you had to go through Schiller first, and let's be honest, that's not a line most people were eager to cross. Schiller's role became even more interesting during Trump's rallies. While the Secret Service typically handles crowd control and the safety of a president at public events, Schiller and his team often took matters into their own hands, sometimes quite literally. Trump's private security was known for its aggressive tactics, with Schiller himself famously ejecting protesters from rallies, often before the Secret Service even had a chance to react. This dual security setup wasn't without controversy. Security experts pointed out that mixing private security with Secret Service protocols was a recipe for confusion and perhaps even disaster. Despite the concerns, Schiller remained an integral part of Trump's inner circle throughout his presidency. He wasn't just there to protect Trump physically, he was also a sounding board for the president, offering opinions on everything from policy to personnel. Schiller's loyalty to Trump was as unshakable as his grip on unruly rallygoers. This loyalty, however, often put him at odds with the Secret Service, whose rigid protocols didn't always mesh well with Schiller's more hands-on approach. In one memorable incident at a rally in Dayton, Ohio, Schiller's delayed response to a potential threat was criticized within law enforcement circles as being 3 seconds too late, a lifetime in security terms. But Schiller continued to stand by Trump's side, ever vigilant, ever ready. While security experts were expressing concerns about how Schiller and his team were a potential problem, on July 13th, it was the Secret Service that allowed one of the darkest moments in U.S. history to take place: an assassination attempt on a prime presidential candidate. On July 13th, 2024, during a campaign rally in Butler, Pennsylvania, a shocking turn of events unfolded when a 20-year-old gunman, Thomas McCrooks, attempted Donald Trump's life. The former president sustained a gunshot wound to his upper right ear, but fortunately survived, while tragically, one audience member lost their life and 2 others suffered severe injuries. McCrooks, armed with an AR-15 style rifle, had a disturbingly advantageous position, perched on the rooftop of a nearby building as he discharged 8 rounds, plunging the gathering into chaos and panic. In a shocking turn of events, the Secret Service counter-sniper team acted quickly, stopping McCrooks and ending the immediate danger. Despite being injured, Trump showed resilience by pumping his fist and rallying the crowd with a defiant, "Fight, fight, fight," as he was escorted off the stage. This moment quickly spread across the internet, highlighting Trump's strength in the face of adversity. The shooting was considered the most significant security lapse for the Secret Service since the 1981 assassination attempt on President Ronald Reagan. The incident has brought intense scrutiny to the Secret Service's procedures and actions, revealing several clear mistakes. It seems that the Secret Service knew about the possibility of someone being positioned on the rooftop before the rally, but they didn't take the necessary steps to secure it. Local law enforcement, including SWAT teams, had pointed out potential issues with the security setup, such as concerns about the roof. However, the Secret Service, which is mainly in charge of protecting the president, failed to secure this important vantage point. It appears that the lack of rooftop security was due to poor planning and not having enough staff. It's like planning a surprise party and forgetting to invite the guest of honor, but with much higher stakes. The Secret Service's mistake meant that Crook had a clear and unobstructed line of fire, which is the kind of mistake that should be considered unacceptable. Adding to the problem was a communication breakdown. During a recent event, the Secret Service had set up different command centers, but they didn't share important information. There was a situation where a sniper from a local emergency services unit saw a suspicious vehicle, but the Secret Service didn't get this message in time. It was like a game of broken telephone during a tornado. The message about a person with a gun on the roof didn't reach the right people who could have stopped the shooting. The Secret Service responded quickly once the shooting happened, but they faced criticism for their earlier mistakes. It was also revealed that they had turned down requests for more security from the Trump campaign in the past. This led to a major security failure. The head of the Secret Service faced tough questions in front of Congress and ended up resigning. President Joe Biden ordered a review of security measures, which found that security was not good enough. After a serious safety scare, the Secret Service and Donald Trump made big changes to boost security. Now, Trump's protection is incredibly strong, but it's not something you'd want to test. They've put up super tough bulletproof glass around Trump at his rallies, making it feel like he's speaking from inside a see-through fortress. They've also set up a bunch of big storage containers to block views and added more snipers on rooftops. The whole security team has grown a lot bigger, and they're taking things very seriously now. Trump even joked that his events now look like the most heavily guarded concerts ever. The previous president certainly deserves credit. When you've been the target of an assassination attempt, you've earned the right to boast about the level of security at your events. And security must be top-notch to prevent any potential civil unrest. However, despite the current effectiveness of Trump's security measures, I can't help but wonder why our presence here is necessary. After all, the Secret Service is more than capable of safeguarding a VIP. Just take a look at how they protect the US president. It's almost as if they're carrying him in a bunker. It's truly fascinating to see the intricate and secretive techniques that the US Secret Service employs to ensure the president's safety.